Chapter 15. Jane's room. The door to Jane Birkin's room was different from the others. Not newer, not older, just untouched. The paint was still smooth, the brass handle still warm-toned despite the salt in the air. It felt like a door that had been closed gently, not abandoned. A door someone had intended to return to. This room had known love and happiness. Its joy still lingered in the air. It smelt like August. It smelled of coastal camellias and blue-pink hydrangeas. Nesrine paused before opening it. Arthur stood behind her, silent, sensing the shift in the air. The house had grown still again, not tense, not hostile, but watchful, as though it understood what lay beyond the threshold. Nesrine turned the handle. The door opened with a soft sigh. The room was bathed in pale morning light. Dust floated in the air like drifting pollen, catching the sun in slow shimmering spirals. The bed was neatly made, the linens faded but clean. A delicate silk scarf hung over the back of a chair. A pair of shoes sat beneath the window, perfectly aligned. A well-worn and beat-up Birkin handbag sat on the floor waiting for its next outing. The owner never to return. Still it waits. It felt lived in. Not recently, but lovingly. Distant laughter of days gone by could still be heard if you really listened. Arthur stepped inside, his voice low. It's like she just stepped out for a moment. Yes, Nesrine said. That's how he kept it. She moved toward the vanity table. A small mirror stood on it, framed in tarnished silver. A hairbrush lay beside it, strands of brown hair still caught in the bristles. Bottles of perfume, some half full, some empty, lined the edge like a row of fragile soldiers ready to defend its madame. Arthur picked up one of the bottles, uncapped it, and inhaled. Still smells like something expensive. Still smells like her, Nesrine said. She opened the top drawer. Inside were letters, not his, but hers. Notes written in her looping, elegant hand. Some were drafts of things she never sent. Some were fragments of thoughts. Some were apologies. Arthur leaned over her shoulder. She wrote to him. Yes. Nesrine lifted one of the pages. You're too quiet when you're hurting. I wish you'd let me in. You don't have to be the strong one all the time. Arthur exhaled. She cared more than the others. She saw him, Nesrine said, and he mistook that for belonging. She opened another letter. This one was different, sharper, more urgent. You can't keep isolating yourself. They don't understand you the way I do, but you can't expect them to. They're not inside your head. Please come back before you disappear completely. Nesrine closed her eyes briefly. Arthur watched her. She tried. Yes, Nesrine said, but she couldn't save him, and when she left the house, he lost the only anchor he had. She placed the letter down gently. Arthur moved toward the wardrobe. Do you think he came in here often? No, Nesrine said. I think he came here only when he needed to feel real. Arthur opened the wardrobe door. Inside hung a single dress, pale, delicate, shimmering faintly in the light. Beneath it, on the floor, lay a shoebox. Arthur lifted it carefully and brought it to the bed. Nesrine sat beside him as he opened it. Inside were photographs. Not the group photographs from the study, not the terrace snapshots. These were different. These were of him, taken by her. Arthur's breath caught. She photographed him. Yes, Nesrine said softly. She saw something in him the others didn't. The photographs were intimate in their quietness. Him reading on the terrace, him sketching in the cellar doorway, him looking out at the sea with a faraway expression. In some, he looked almost handsome. In others, unbearably lonely, as though he belonged in an Edward Happer painting. Arthur held one up. He never knew she kept these. No, Nesrine said. If he had, he might have lived. The room seemed to tighten around them, the air thick with the weight of what could have been. Arthur placed the photographs back in the box. So this is the truth. Yes, Nesrine said. He wasn't invisible, not to her, but he needed more than one person to see him, and the others never did. She stood and walked to the window. The sea stretched out below, calm now, its surface shimmering like glass. The cliffs were still damp from the storm, the rocks dark and gleaming. Rugged places like this can play tricks on the mind. Arthur joined her. What happens now? Nesrine rested her hand on the window frame. Now we tell the story. All of it. Not the version the world expects, the version the house remembers. Arthur nodded. And after that? She looked around the room. The bed, the vanity, the wardrobe, the shoebox of photographs. After that, she said, we let him go. The house creaked softly as though releasing a breath it had held for years, and Nesrine Boudaoud, standing in the quiet heart of Jane Birkin's room, felt the final piece of the story settle into place. Not closure, not peace, but truth.